This is a very simple and easy to make DIY skateboard dolly for your camera. It has adjustable axles to enable you to have curved shots. Although I put a parts list on the screen, I used bits and pieces that I had lying around the workshop. What you see here is a 3U rack blanking plate that is used in a rack mounted system that I had, and was able to convert that into the skateboard dolly that we're about to build. The skateboard trucks and wheels were discarded from an old skateboard that my son had. Camera tripod and ball heads come in all shapes and sizes. This is one that I had and use, and found it quite adaptable for the use on the DIY skateboard dolly. This is the cutting and drilling template that I used. This suited all the components that I used on my skateboard dolly. Yours may be different and may alter in size, so please do check that with the components that you use. I found that 14 inches or 336mm was just a nice size for my dolly. Although I used an aluminium blanking plate which was quite strong and had edges on there to stop it from flexing, the ordinary skateboard, the wooden skateboard, would be quite sufficient, but it looks a little bit more professional when you turn up with something like we're about to build. Using a file, smooth off any rough edges. Drill your first 6mm hole in the plate. This will be the pivot hole. I did all my measurements and drilling on the top of the board. It just made it easier for myself when assembling the dolly. The hole adjacent to the pivot pin is where we'll mark the board so as we can cut a groove in the board to enable us to steer the dolly axle. Mark where the groove holes are to be drilled as shown on the screen. You may want to use a centre punch to dot each of the centres of the holes, but first use a smaller drill to drill through the hole and then finish off with the larger drill. When drilling the holes, I use the axle as a gauge, as you can see here, to drill the holes. Just made things a little bit easier, and then I knew that the holes were going to be in the correct place. Use a jigsaw to cut round the slot. This will make life an awful lot easier when it's time to file. Using the files, open the slot to about 8mm and try and make it the radius as smooth as possible. In all cases, use washers between the plate and the axles. This enables you to have smooth operation of the wheels when trying to rotate them on the plate. The pivot pin is the only one that will not be removed later, so use a nylock nut. This is a shake-proof nut and will not come apart when the dolly is in operation. For all the other pins, use a flat washer, spring washer and wing nut. The spring washer is essential. It will stop the nuts from getting loose when in operation. The pivot pin and nylock nut needs to be tightened sufficiently that the dolly wheel is able to rotate. So don't do that too tight, it does need to move. Drill the hole for your camera tripod ball head. Now this can be either 1/4 or 3/8 depending upon the type of ball head that you use. Set your wheels and axles so they're straight. In other words, you can run the dolly along a straight line. When this is done, 2 more holes will be drilled on each axle assembly. When the pins are fitted, this will enable you to find the straight running of the dolly with ease. Fit your camera tripod ball head into place. I favoured the one shown on the screen. I did have a bubble on the top to give me the position when the camera was going to be level. I fitted a telescopic selfie stick to the dolly. I found that quite useful when the dolly was in use. It did fold away quite nicely as shown here, so I've left that as part of the build. It will save you crouching down when doing those low down pan shots. You can get some surprisingly nice radius shots with this dolly. I have been extremely pleased with the quality of the pictures that I've managed to get using the dolly. I know I could have used a skateboard, but if you're on a set somewhere, it's not very professional when you pull out a tatty old skateboard when you can pull out something as nice as this. Thank you for your interest in this project. Thank you for watching.